Oh. Whoop. Hey, pretty thing. Howdy. I'm Jimmy. Thanks for joining me outside today. Just had a lot of rain yesterday. Finally, all the plants are nice and wet, happy. Sun's out today. It's just, it's one of those beautiful days you dream about. So, I want to take this time to talk about the new humanity. Stumbled onto a YouTube video earlier today. I will put a link below in the description. I remember as a Japanese guy, his last name was Kushi, like Keiko Kushi or Mikako Kushi. But anyways, he did a video back in 1984, right, like 40 years ago, and he's just talking about the new humanity, but he's kind of comparing like, hey, this current humanity looks like it's headed in a certain direction. It's going to extinct itself. And all the people that are going to be noticing this extinction event, they're going to be off creating this new humanity. So there's this pretty big event we're all involved in right now, the way I see it. I mean, like this transformation of humanity right now. It's probably far more important than any of us realize. You know? And I just know in my heart, humanity always wins. So I'm not attached to the outcome too much. I think we'll be very surprised by the end of all of this, what pans out and what actually happens. Right now, a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of information, a lot of misinformation, twisted thoughts, twisted people, half machine, half human. Like right now, it is such a damn mess. When you look at humanity and what people are doing. But in his video, Kushi, he basically talks about the medical system and how they've been able to replace all the organs of your body with machines. This was back in 1984, so they've only gotten better at replacing human parts with machines. Alright? Then he goes on to talk about the pharmaceutical industry and all the psychiatric drugs and how they're using that to change the mind. People's minds are changing. They're evolving. Or I'd say devolving. Right? Because you look at all these people that are depressed, they take the pills. I mean, for the longest time, that was all the mass shooters in America. They were all on those SSRIs, mass murder pills. So you can kind of tell, like, you start taking a pill to toy with your mind, like they basically destroy the mind, right? And you got to understand that's on purpose. Like if you're, this is I'm a tough love guy, all right? So I'm having these talks, I'm saying all this because I have a deep compassion for people and humanity. And I think it's kind of funny sometimes to look at what you've done and to say, God, that was stupid. Man, that was silly. Instead of taking it as some big tragic thing. Because the more that you go into that direction of everything's a damn tragedy, you're playing right into these people's hands. They wanted to destroy your mind all along. They want robots. Okay, I'm not talking to people who vote I'm not talking to people who look to an authority. I'm talking directly to the spiritual beings here, the real ones. You know you're here for something, and it's not to serve these people. It's not to help them turn everybody into robots. So, I want to bring up this point that one of my buddies brought up to me. How people are just so afraid about starting new. Okay, people are just scared to death that they would have to go out into the woods, create a shelter, figure out what to eat, and just live free in nature. Like, people are horrified at that idea. And my buddy brought this idea up because we're both excited. Like, to me, I am so excited about like a reset of humanity and just being able to stumble through in the beginning, but come to a new humanity, you know, like another way you could put it is like a 0 to hero run. Like, if you ever played a shooter game or something, people, they like to go in with nothing and then build their way up to be the hero at the end, you know. So I don't know, it's just, I know I'm not alone in this adventure, in this thought of a new humanity created from scratch, built off of learning these lessons that we're all going through right now with authorities and government, right? Like control, and how it is the big problem and it's causing mass harm, mass psychosis. I mean, just the destruction of nature alone that your governments are involved in, that's just enough to be like, whoa, it all needs to stop. Like right now, today, not after they start the big slaughter and put the killer robots out on the streets like they want to. It's like, if you had any morality left in you, you'd realize, like, this shit needs to be gone 100 fucking years ago. Like, these people, these banksters, and it's like, it's all out in the open. How they use money and wars and food and information to manipulate everything. Everything they got their grubby hands on, they make a monopoly. And if you haven't realized it, they're trying to make you into their little slave monopoly and all your futures. And what they've done is they have transformed the human body into a weak, sick slave vessel. So that's easy to control. It's easy to trick. All you gotta do is turn up the cell tower, and then they get sick. Look up radio wave sickness. I feel like I could explain how humanity got here. I studied it enough. It's pretty clear to see this was the plan all along. Since World War I to World War II to this planned World War III they want to have. They want to turn everybody into robots. But first you have to make it popular. You've got to make it, you know, ooh, who can be the quickest? Who can have the most? Right? Like, that's all robot stuff. Humans don't care about quantities. Like, true-hearted humans, like, I only need enough money to get by, okay? I don't need a bunch of money so people can look at me differently, all right? In fact, when I see people with a bunch of money, I look down on them like, God, they must have given up a part of their soul for that. Was it worth it? Probably not. In my opinion, that's just me, right? The closer you get to nature, and when you're just okay with, like, I'll just sit outside today, nothing's wrong. Everything is pretty peaceful and in perfect harmony here. If I had a newsroom and I could broadcast the beauty to everybody every night of nature, you think the world might be different? Instead of people broadcasting all of their murders and all of their psyops things to keep people caged in their houses and afraid of nature and afraid of each other. I mean, it just seems like this is that turning point. Like, it's gotten so stupid. And after the whole pandemic, you really got a peek into the psychology of people in this age, and how they will suffocate themselves, they will starve, they will, I mean, and then they'll have fun, like they'll enjoy destroying their society and each other. They'll make little videos and dance about it and share it to each other. Like, they're into the destruction of good things. All right? And I just want to be bold in the way I live and the way I see it and the way I call it. Most people are bad. When you really want to look at good and bad and the world would not be like this if all these people that are following government were good people, all right? Just come on. Simplify things. Stop using all these words and all the fear to convince yourself of anything. Look clearly at it the way it is. Be like a Mentat in Dune. I'm telling you, take that generalist mindset. And you must always keep the idea of change at the top of your mind. Change. Okay, I've studied this thing my whole life, but guess what? It could flip-flop and change and transform within the next day, okay? I don't know everything. You have to take that perspective on. That it's change is what you really want to focus on, like understanding the changes of things and how it works, how it flows. And then you'll see the plans within the plans within the plans. It's like my favorite saying right now is the plans within the plans within the plans. It's how consciousness works. I have plans within plans within plans within plans deep inside of me. I'm sure some of you do too. But let's circle back to this new humanity. And it makes me think of the compost pile. Man, I love the compost pile. I love putting a dead thing in the compost pile and watching it transform. Throwing my rotten vegetables or, a dead skunk or whatever in the compost. Sometimes I call it the saltpeter pit. It's where they used to dump the bodies back in the medieval times. They had a pit where they throw all the bodies and then they'd get salt out of it somehow. Like, whew, some crazy stuff when you think of salt. Is like our bodies. So right now I'm 37. I feel like I'm in the perfect age for this new humanity. I grew up in the old humanity of guilt, shame. There's authorities that write your life. Like, you were never given a pen to write your own story, okay? It was yoinked away from you as a child, and you've been stick your head down into the piece of poo. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to worship murder flags. You're supposed to believe that somebody will save you one day. What a story that one is, man. These religions and how somebody's going to save them one day. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. How that one just destroys so many people's minds. It's just like, oh, somebody else is going to save me? Well, shit. All I got to do is say I believe, and it doesn't matter what actions I take. Wow. I mean, for you to seriously live that life of, it's faith-based, it's not my actions, it's what I think. Okay, yeah. It's just the most foolish stuff you could have ever witnessed. And I'm talking about the compost pile. I'm talking about rotten humanity, rotting away. And as it's rotting and you're watching the thing decay and putrefy, and all the worms and the leeches and the maggots are all coming in on the corpse of the rotten humanity that you were born into. You're seeing all these people fighting with each other over contrived, made-up stories on the internet, made-up psyops by governments. You're just watching the saltpeter pit. You're watching the compost pile of humanity turn. If you know anything about gardening, once that thing is turned all the way, whoo, you got the most beautiful, potent soil you could have ever asked for, right? The more stinky, the more funky, the more nasty the compost is, the more life it brings. And it's just what I see for this future. I love making these crazy predictions, putting my ideas out. Because I'm thinking this guy was pretty accurate, this Kushi. And me reading the tea leaves of the times I live in, 2030 is that's a major, like, that's the time they've said 2030, they want everybody to be renting houses, right? You're going to be sharing screwdrivers. Like, they had this talk to where, why would you want your own screwdriver when everybody could just share one? Like, that's their plan, okay? These people that are running the show, they want you to all be renters and own nothing by 2030. Who knows how that's going to play out? You're already at that point where a lot of people my age can't afford a house, can't really get going, can't really get started. While their parents are invested in BlackRock, their parents are invested in all these companies that are destroying the housing market, their own children. Like, you got to understand the stock market and the boomers and how, like, they are making money off of the destruction of their kids' futures right now. It's just so ugly and putrefying event. This big compost pile of humanity. Man, it stinks. But we will make the most beautiful flowers out of that compost one day. So I'm thinking 2030, 2033. That's it. Like, by that time, you're either with nature or you're a robot. Right? Like, to me, it's kind of like it's getting that serious here. I made my choice long ago. I've been seeing this stuff coming. So I'm just giving you an invitation. Join nature, join the new humanity. It's going to be an adventure. I think we've learned a lot, and we're still continuing to learn even more as we watch this old civilization destroy itself, and we're learning how it destroyed itself. You're watching it play by play. And like I always say, everything has its purpose. All of this has its little purpose, whether you see it or not. But these are the talks I like to have. It's more of a, enthusiastic look at the future, right? I guess I've just gotten so used to talking conspiracy and, I don't know, just admitting like people are really stupid. It doesn't faze me, right? I don't know. I think a lot of people still can't handle that joking gallows humor. But it's a very silly situation. And I'm just kind of giving you that invitation to get out of the silly situation. I'm that voice in the wilderness. We're out here. We're building. We're prepared. We know what's coming. We have all we need. So I hope you sell everything, buy a piece of property, and start farming. Doing something. Just snapping out of the matrix, right? So all I can offer you is hey, I could bring you to the, what is that saying? You can bring a person to water, but you can't make them drink it. But then there's another saying, you could bring a person, you could bring a globe believer to a flat plane of water, but you still can't convince them that the earth and the water's flat. What a stupid saying. Alright, so to close this video off, I want to make this point. You see this little caterpillar I got? He was crawling up my leg, kind of tickling my ankle. The new humanity respects these little guys, alright? We see them as equal. I do my best not to stomp on them. Right? Sometimes they're at my steps and I didn't see when I squished him because, I don't know, they like going up the top of my house and dropping down on my steps like they have a party out there. But if you want to be a part of the new humanity, you better respect these guys, alright? Just saying. There's a lot of responsibilities that come with the new humanity. And he just took a poop on me. It's alright, dude. Don't be scared. Alright, respect your insects. And your chipmunks. Join the new humanity. We're waiting. See ya.